Alright, everyone, so CJ just released an update on Discord where basically they're telling you exactly what they're doing for what they're planning for the new updates. So we're looking at progression updates, we're looking at equipment updates, we're looking at training updates, which I don't really know anybody who would care about that really. So, but there's a new training update apparently. So we're gonna go point by point and let's talk a bit about it. Let's go straight into progression. Leveling rates are currently too slow. We originally made the leveling rates slightly slower so that we could increase the pace if need be. So we'll be doing exactly that. Less required experience per level across the board. Now that is amazing and wonderful. The reason being is because once you reach level 30, what happens is that the amount of experience you get per run, no matter what rewards multiplier you set, stays static. There's no modifiers whatsoever if you don't count the objectives or the extra bonus stuff you have to complete during a run, right? It stays static. As you start to level beyond 30 to 100, the amount of experience required to level up drastically increases. So your progression drastically slows. It's insane. It takes forever to unlock all your tier 3 items, even though tier 3 are fantastic and amazing, especially once you're trying to aim for tier 3 crucifix, which by far is game breaking, right? If you have tier 3 crucifix, basically can own every run. It seems great that they're going to reduce the experience requirements in order to level up. Here's a problem that I can see happening. If they reduce it to the point where, let's say you get another 15 levels and you unlock the majority of tier 3 items, right? What happens to the rest of the upper levels? Like, let's say 45 and above. You basically have nothing there. It's play the game until you reach level 100, which could still take a long time, and you get nothing for it. Maybe they throw in money rewards every now and again, which I think, sure, fine, but there needs to be a reason why you would need the extra cash. But it would still take a while, and you would have no real incentive to continue leveling up other than to get prestige or just leveling up for your ego, right? So there needs to be something else there as you reach the upper levels. Overall, my opinion on this is I like it. So equipment tier unlocks are too linear and too slow. Absolutely agree. Takes freaking forever to get tier 3. So alongside the progression rate changed above, we're going to change tier unlocks so that multiple are unlocked at once instead of only one. Now that's a problem that I'll talk about in a second. This means you'll have more choice on which equipment you want to upgrade first and which you want to save for later. Now here's a problem I just noticed. If you're unlocking multiple items at a single time, but you're also increasing the amount of XP you need to reach a certain level. That means you might not even reach level 45 and have all tier 3 items. Maybe you unlock multiple items. You have everything unlocked by level 30, right? That's probably an exaggerate. That's very likely an exaggeration. I don't think the devs would actually do something stupid like that. Think about it. You're going to get multiple items faster because you're going to level up faster, and they're allowing you to get multiple items at the same time. Is that going to be a problem with the end game? That's the biggest problem I can think of. Maybe they introduce more things that you can do during like the upper levels, right? Maybe you unlock stuff as you continue going. Maybe you can buy more things. Let's put it that way. Maybe you can buy more things as you're leveling up. Whatever that's going to be, I don't know yet. I haven't read that far down. So we'll also be increasing the cost of some upgrades, as at the moment players can unlock almost everything straight away when some upgrades should be something you save up for. I don't really agree with this. Like, I think once you unlock something by leveling up, because it's such a grind, right? You earn that, especially your tier 3 items. I don't think you should put a money barrier in front of something that somebody had to grind for, especially when they're the good items that you grinded for. So tier 3 crucifix maybe? Would you want a cost barrier in front of that after you grinded so much in order to actually get to that level to unlock? I wouldn't. So maybe it won't be as bad as I think it will be. Maybe it'll actually be reasonable. Maybe you'll just have to play a run or two in order to actually upgrade your tier. Maybe, maybe not. We'll have to see what happens. But personally, I'm not a fan of that specific bullet point right now. All right, next we have prestiges. Prestiges are a complete optional part of progression. However, we understand that there aren't any incentives right now to encourage players to prestige. So yeah, that's completely accurate. Every time you go to Phasmo chat or just hear people talking in general, right? They're like, why should I prestige? Why should I care? There's really no reason to do it. The ID and badge are cool, right? They're cool little things to say, I reached level 100 and prestige this X number of times, right? But other than that, there's no real purpose to them. It's more of an ego thing, right? So if they add some kind of incentive in order to prestige, then maybe people will do it more often because it's such a cool system, right? Think of roguelike games. There's prestiging there all the time, and people do it all the time. And they do it because there's an incentive to do it. Maybe they keep all their levels, maybe they keep all their items, maybe they're every time they prestige, they become more overpowered. Now, if they do that in this game, that's gonna be incredibly stupid because you do not want players to be overpowered while searching for ghosts. So I don't think they should do that. That's pretty dumb. But there does need to be some kind of incentive. So let's see what they say. With new player models, I like that. I like that already. New player models. We will be adding unique prestige related unlocks for players to purchase with in-game money. Such as accessories for a player model or cool new jacket. On that point, if you remember from equipment tier unlocks are too slow and too linear, and leveling rates are too slow, let's relate these for a second. You're going to be able to unlock equipment faster because multiple items can be unlocked at the same time. But here's the thing, we'll be increasing the cost of some upgrades, right? So things are going to cost more. And if you look specifically here, players can unlock almost everything straight away when some upgrades should be something you save for. That to me says that things are going to cost more. You're going to have to save money in order to unlock items. So you are now going to be in a balancing act where you're going to have to choose between saving your cash for accessories for your character or saving your cash in order to buy, let's say, a tier 2 dots. So you don't have to deal with tier 1 dots. So is that going to be a good thing? Is that going to be a bad thing? Is it going to take so long to earn money in game that you're forced to only ever choose items to unlock rather than being able to give some flair to your character? If you add player customization, you need to give the players ways to express themselves, right? But if you're forcing them to choose between items and express themselves, well, it kind of defeats the purpose of player customization. So hopefully the cost of upgrading isn't so bad that you really should only ever save for new items and occasionally purchase some kind of flair for your character. Now, it might not be that bad. I'm not saying it will be, but what I'm saying is when you add player customization, that's incentive. So coming soon for each prestige, players will be able to choose one of the following: a sum of extra money, just kickstart their equipment loadouts, or to save for their first few upgrades. That's interesting. Or a small XP boost for that prestige only, allowing players to level up slightly faster, but have to manage their money better. I would personally choose a small experience boost over the extra cash, right? So if you're leveling up faster, you can unlock items faster, correct? But if you're getting money in the beginning, you might end up having like so much cash, but you're leveling up so slow that you're basically turning into a Scrooge McDuck, where you have so much cash that you don't know what to do with, so you have nothing to spend it on, versus having a bunch of stuff unlocked, but not enough cash to actually spend on it, right? I think having lots of stuff unlocked where you can spend on it would be better than being a Scrooge McDuck and not having anything to spend on. So I would choose experience boost, I guess, for that prestige only, right? So prestige 1, you'll only get an experience boost for that, and you'd have to, when prestige, I guess, reselect it. To me, that doesn't seem that bad. I could see the first one, some of extra money, starting money at the beginning for maybe people who play amateur, intermediate, professional, and don't really play high multiplier runs, right? Because unless you have high multiplier runs, the money you get can pretty much only average around $1,500 a run. And that's only if you do the objectives and get perfects, right? Whereas if you do like no evidence, maybe 9, 10 multipliers and do the objectives, you get like 4 or 5K. So you can get a lot of cash at once if you play high multipliers. I think this is a good way to make people prestige. So hopefully people do. It feels good to do it, right? Because currently when you prestige, it doesn't feel good. You lose all your stuff and you get nothing back except an ID and a badge, which has no benefits other than looking cool. Okay, so now we're looking at potential equipment changes and specifically evidence equipment. So what they're doing to dots is T1 is slightly hard to use. Is it? I don't feel like it is, but I guess people complain about it enough that I guess it does. So we make it brighter and increasing the range of the light it emits. Now, when I use tier 1, oh yes, it is hard to use. Now, I haven't used it in a while, right? So I guess I forgot. When you're trying to place it, it can be a bit troublesome, right? Because you can't exactly see where it's pointing the dots, right? You're basically putting it down. If it's shining in the place you want it to shine in, great. If it's not, you pick it up, you slightly adjust the angle, put it back down. And if you screw it up again, well, you're doing it again. And it's kind of like, unless I guess you're not angrily challenged, I guess the best way to put it, it's a pain in the butt. Like, so it makes sense. Making it brighter, increasing the range of the light it emits. Now, I got a GPU recently, so I'm starting playing it at full textures, 1080p, right? With a bunch of extra beautifying stuff on, right? So to me, the T1 looks really bright, as well as the range looks really far. Maybe it's because I've only ever played in like half 1080p texture quality with like fidelity performance on prior to getting new GPU that I never noticed that it was, I guess, super dim and the range was really low. So maybe that's the case. So I can't really say much about that, but in my opinion, it doesn't really feel that bad. Tier 2 and Tier 3 obviously are upgrades, and it feels really good when you get them. But Tier 1, I think it's fine. It still does need an upgrade, but I think it's currently fine. All right, so EMF reader. Oh my god, yes. I just saw Tier 1 needles often get too close or even go past the 5 mark during hunts and events. Now, this is something that, a myth that goes on, right? If like it ever goes past 5, even during events, people automatically assume it's EMF 5, even though that's not the case. So limiting it to only ever go to 4 is super handy, right? So is that actually what you're going to do? So we'll be clamping the pesky needle a little harder to make sure people aren't mistaken for evidence. So I assume that's actually what they're going to do. If they basically clamp it to EMF 4 and only EMF 4, never going past 5, I think that myth will just die immediately. And you're going to have more people be less, I guess, more feisty, right? To defend the fact that they saw EMF 5 because it went past 5, but wasn't actually EMF 5. if you experience that, you'll know what I'm talking about. If you haven't, then it does happen. Clamping it to max EMF 4 is perfect and definitely something that is welcomed. Oh, Tier 3 will receive a new sound for an EMF 5 reading, making it easier for evidence without having to pick it up. Fantastic. I like that, because normally what I do, I just throw it down somewhere. If it makes a noise, I go and check on it. I don't pick it up. You don't actually need to pick it up to see EMF 5. So I just look down, stare at it for like half a second, not EMF 5, I wander off, right? EMF 1 and EMF 2 all have sound indicators for EMF 5. So I guess make Tier 3 consistent with the previous tiers is actually really good. So it's another welcome addition to the EMF reader. No problems with that. Additionally, we'll be changing where the T3's sensor reads from for PC players. What? This will make the directional indicators more accurate and feel more intuitive to read. What? How's it not intuitive? I don't understand this. If you get a dot rather than an arrow, the EMF reading is right there. And then if it's far away from you, it points to where the EMF reading is. I don't understand how that's not intuitive. Maybe people are having problems with it. I don't know. But to me, I don't really understand that. So let's move on. All right, so Thermometer. Tier 1, oh my god. This is what I watched an Instant stream once where he was with CJ and they were talking about he wasn't with CJ, but he was talking about an interaction that he had. I think it was CJ, where they talked about adding randomness to Tier 1. Holy crap, they're actually going to do it? Tier 1 never had its randomness to the readings, making it much more accurate than the other tiers. We'll be implementing a slight fluctuation on readings to reduce its effectiveness. Freaking hell, man. Like, no, please don't do this. Like, why, man? Just why? Tier 1 is incredible. Tier 2 and 3 suck. They're really bad, man. I just saw the third bullet point. Tier 3 will have randomness reduced further to make it even better in Tier 2. Oh, God. I'm completely against these changes in Thermometer. The second bullet points. Tier 2 and 3 will be adjusted so that after the initial hold scan, continuing to hold the use button will keep refreshing the temperature reading every second or so. Why can't it just be you click it and just never touch it again? Like, it's so annoying. Man, it's the thermometer is gonna be. I think the thermometer now is gonna be not as annoying for tier 2 and 3 because you don't have to continue click every 3 seconds, right? But it's still gonna be so annoying if the tier 1 is gonna now introduce randomness. Please no, please don't do that to us. So here's my opinion. Leave tier 1 alone. Make its temperature reading update slower, right? Like, wouldn't that be better? It updates every 5 seconds. Let's put it that way. The T1 thermometer will update every 5 seconds so that it doesn't consistently go down and you can instantly find a ghost. Make it a little bit worse, right? But don't add randomness, please, I beg you. Tier 2 and 3 adjusted, so initial hold to scan, blah, blah, blah. Press it once for tier 2 and tier 3. Every 5 seconds you get a reading from tier 2, right? Oh wait, I didn't read the second half of the bullet point. Oh shoot. Continuing to hold the use button will keep refreshing the temperature reading every second or so. Okay, so I'm an idiot. My apologies. Tier 2 and 3 every second or so is fantastic. That's actually something I talked about in a short, as well as basically every video I talk about whenever I bring up tier 2 and 3 thermometer. Reducing it so that you get a result closer to real life, right? A real life thermometer gun would give you a result every half second, right? So if tier 3 was like that, I think it'd be good. But it looks like press the button once and hold it, you get a result every every 1 second, right? Which I think is a reasonable compromise rather than holding for like 5 or 3 seconds, depending on the tier you're playing with. So looks like tier 2 and 3 are basically going to be the same, where tier 2 and tier 3 will update every second, but tier 3 will have its random value decrease, which please make it less than a 1.5 degree difference, right? Like a tier 2, fine, make it like a 3 degree difference from the room's current temperature, but make tier 3 at least like 1 to 1.5 degree difference. I think that's a reasonable compromise, as well as making it tier 1. Maybe it updates every 3 seconds, right? Like I think that'd be fine, right? Just I think the tier 2 and 3 upgrades are welcome. In my opinion, they're welcome. But tier 1 adding randomness to that is I hate that. I hate that idea so much. If it does happen, I'll probably start using tier 3 a lot more. Probably not though. Like if I can have tier 1 just like chucking into Ghost Room and just never look at it again until I want to check a reading, right? I think that'd be fine. Rather than walking with tier 3 and having to hold the button while I stand in a room. Like I'll do that if I have spirit boxes in either end of the room and I'm trying to get a response while holding a tier 3 thermometer. Like I do that already, but tier 1 still will be a priority for me. So we'll see what the end result turns out to be. And hopefully again, things will actually be better than they appear in here. All right, so Ultraviolet, we'll be flipping T1 and T2 around. Oh my God. This is gonna be so stupid. We'll be flipping tier 1 and tier 2 around so players start with the flashlight and unlock the glow stick second. This should feel more like useful progression than it currently is. Well, sure, the glow stick is still better than the tier 3 flashlight. So maybe go tier 3, 2, and then tier 1, like do a whole flip like that, and I guess it'll feel like useful progression. It's so weird. But yeah, glow stick is definitely much better than the actual flashlights, even though there are uses for the ultraviolet flashlights. So I don't know how they can fix that, right? The glow stick is so good as it is. Like, what can you swap that for? How can you make it worse? Instead of it glowing for 60 seconds, maybe make it glow from like 15, 30 seconds. Maybe something like that, right? Because the UV, the fingerprints and the footprints don't charge anymore. So there's really no reason to have it, right? If you point your flashlight at it, boom, it appears immediately. And yeah, just, Well, also, charging ultraviolet is actually a real thing in real life. So it's not really a fake mechanic. So just something I threw out there just because I learned about it. All right, so ultraviolet, I'm scratching my head at that one. I don't know. We'll see what happens. All right, so optional equipment, firelights and igniters will be increasing duration and light range for all tiers. Fantastic. Have you used a match when you're walking around in the dark? It is awful. Have you used a lighter when you're walking around in the dark? It is freaking awful. Have you ever used a lantern when you're walking around in the dark? It's not bad, actually. I bet you guys were thinking I was going to say it was awful, but it's actually not that bad. The lantern is actually really good. The candles, I think the tier 1 should be pretty crappy. Tier 2, I think, should be slightly less crappy. Like you see maybe a bit further, but otherwise, I don't think the light range is really that bad. Is when you come to the igniters, that's when it gets really bad because there's really no point for them in the dark other than to light things up. So giving players new ways to walk around in dark areas, I think that's fine, right? Like if you don't have flashlight, use a glow stick, right? That's fantastic. Or a lantern, which is the tier 3 firelight, which is fantastic, right? But I guess having a lighter and walking around with that could add some, a lighter challenge, right? Lighters only challenge, like fire only challenge in Phasmo. That could be a new challenge that comes out. We'll see. I could see that, something like that happening. Oh my God. I just read the first bullet point. Headgear. We'll be adding an additional key binding for toggling on and off your headgear slots, as many players have expressed that the current method isn't ideal. You know why it's not ideal? Because you have to hold. It's not just that you have to basically use your I guess your special key. I binded mine to my middle mouse button, so I think it's a special key, right? You have to hold. I think that's the biggest problem. If you can just press it, like it says, right? It says toggling, right? You press the button and then your headgear turns on. That's so much better. Like, so fully welcome this rather than hold to remove and hold to equip nonsense that's present currently. So fully welcome this. It's great. All 3 tiers of headgear will now have a new sound play when being interfered with by the ghost to let players know when they should turn it off during hunts. I think that's good because when you have a headgear on, you don't notice it. If your FOV is set to like the default, you don't see your head. You barely, if you do see your headgear, you barely see it. So you're not going to know that it's actually on, right? Tier 2, you can know it's on because it's a flashlight, but you can also have your flashlight on at the same time. And then when it hunts, you might actually turn off your flashlight, but you forget to turn off your headlight, which causes a problem, right? So doing it quickly is fully welcome. And when you have tier 3 headgear, there's no way you're going to figure out a ghost unless you hear it or you're holding electronic. If the ghost can interfere with the night vision, like make it so it interferes just like how you see in photos, right? Perfect. You'll know, oh crap, there's a ghost. I need to turn this off. I need to run for my life, right? Although tier 1, I don't know anybody who actually uses it. Maybe if they're like tutoring someone, I guess. Yeah, so this is welcome. Tier 3 is emitting a new sound. Fantastic. Big thumbs up. Oh, I was just talking about this. Tier 3's night vision doesn't currently have any paranormal interference. Okay, so not only does it get a new sound, apparently, it also gets interference. So we'll be adding some of that to reduce its effectiveness during hunts and keep it on par with other equipment. Fantastic, fantastic, fantastic. I love the new headgear potential updates. So fantastic. All right, so now we're in motion sensor. This thing really needs more uses, right? T3's truck map indicator will be changed to be more accurate and show what it's detecting clearer. I don't understand. Oh, wait. Maybe when you're looking in the van in the monitor, instead of it just being a stupid orange circle that beep, right, and turns green, but not showing you where the ghost actually is, just that it walked nearby, right? Maybe there's like a little dots of where it moved through T3's range, right? So you can actually see its movement, which actually be pretty cool. I don't know if that's what this point is indicating, but I think it'd be pretty cool. There's really no other point for a motion sensor other than to use the T3 motion sensor bug. All right, so parabolic microphone to aid hearing impaired users. Awesome accessibility, I like it. We'll be making the red LED light on the side of the T1 Paramic flash when it picks up sounds. I don't think I'd ever use that, because if you hear something, this is person with slightly bad hearing, but not hearing impaired. Okay, when you hear a ghost, you just hear it, right? There's really no reason for a flashing light. For hearing impaired, it makes perfect sense, right? Because they obviously won't be able to hear it. So I guess seeing a red light indicator will be actually really useful. So another welcome update that could come. So oh, photo camera. Let's see what they're going to do with it. Tier 2 will receive a slight buff to photo taking speed. Why does it need a buff? I don't know. Anyways, Tier 1 needs a buff. It's so slow, man. We'll be fixing for the final time the oversight of taking a ghost photo with a full book. Pesky haunted cameras. Oversight taking ghost photo. Oh, crap. Dang it. This is something I love so much. Like, you take a picture of a ghost, but your photo album's full and you have captured a ghost photo, right? And you take a picture of the ghost when your photo album's full and you still get that objective done. I love that so much. Please don't. What I don't want right now is that fix. Do it after the photo overhaul system, like, so you can delete the photos, right? Because taking a ghost photo, especially during hunts, is insanely annoying, because if it goes invisible when you take a picture, in events you'll always get it as long as you take a picture of the ghost, but hunts are freaking maddening, man. So please, put my hands together in prayer that you don't implement that until after the photo haul system. I beg you. All right, so there are still some bugs with photos, but with the major photo overhaul coming soon, a lot of that will be fixed as a byproduct. I think, oh wait, let's continue. However, we're still looking at increasing the consistency of photo taking. So I think the problem was that, if I can find the clip, I'll put it on screen, but I took a photo of a ghost, and then it was clearly in the middle of the frame, but I ended up getting a disturbed salt photo, which was not in the frame whatsoever. It was actually being covered by Tanglewood's island counter. So there was no disturbed salt in the photo at all. It was a ghost in the middle of the frame, perfectly aligned. I still got the disturbed salt photo, a 2-star one at that. So it was really annoying. And there was another case where I took a picture of a ghost in utility Tanglewood. I got an interaction photo 3 where the ghost was right in the middle of the photo. And here's the reason why I got interaction 3. It threw the ghostwriting book, landed on the red mop bucket, which was behind a washer where the ghost was standing. The problem was you could not see the ghostwriting book because it was behind a washer. And I still got the interaction photo, which was insanely annoying. So the photo overhaul system really can't come soon enough. And these fixes should come with the photo overhaul system. That's my opinion. More benefits for upgrading camera tiers will come with the new system, including the removal of failed photos. Oh my god, thank you. Big thumbs up. Forget everything I said previously. Implement these fixes for the photos. Actually, no, don't forget what I said. Implement the fixes for the photos, but also release them at the same time as the photo overhaul system. Please, thank you. Thumbs up, prayers to you. Thank you. All right, so Sanity meds. We'll be speeding up the Sanity restoration effect of Tier 2 to make the upgrade more worthwhile. I don't care. I'm gonna be honest, I really don't care. The reason being is because Tier 1, yeah, it's really slow. Tier 2, you're kind of used to it with Tier 1 Sanity meds, right? Tier 3, well, you're basically speed racer at that point, and your sanity recovers like really quick. So I don't know where I'm going with this, but sanity meds Tier 2 doesn't really seem like it needs some kind of update. Yeah, I don't know. I got no real opinions on that. All right, so sound sensor. We'd like to add a mute button to each sensor in a truck. Oh, wait, don't they have that already? No, they don't have it. Okay, never mind. We'd like to add a mute button to each sensor in a truck so you can concentrate on watching dots on the monitor in safety and sounds. I think a mute button is fine. Although, like, if you have a sound sensor down there, you're already listening for the ghost, correct? So I don't see a point in muting it. Maybe you found the ghost already. Maybe you're done listening to it and then you want to mute it. So I think that's the only reason why you would actually want to mute it. But personally, I don't see a reason why I'd want to mute it. I would just keep it on the whole time. I wouldn't care. All right, so Cursed Possessions Monkey Paw. Now, I've had a Monkey Paw experience, and if I can get the clip up right now, then I'll put it up. actually, let's first read the bullet point. With the most recent change to the poll affecting the sea ghost wish, that's actually a problem I had that I'm going to show you in a second. We're going to make the darkness effect start when the hunt starts. That's not the problem. So you can actually see the ghost during event. Now that is actually useful. Seeing a ghost, basically being blinded when a ghost event happens, is really stupid. It works in multiplayer, but if you're solo and you use that wish in order to, I guess, get the ghost photo, right? I guess if you're not directionally challenged, right? You can turn yourself over, take a picture, and you get the ghost photo, right? But if you're directionally challenged, like me, for the most part, you don't know where the ghost actually is. You're blind. It's not like you can stand up, because if it starts hunting, you're trying to take pictures of it. Well, it sees you now. You're dead. Basically, hitting you with darkness when the hunt starts is actually a good thing. Now, the problem I've had with Monkey Paw, which has nothing to do with the update right now, is that I wish to see the ghost. The ghost did come up. I got darkness before the hunt started, but the problem was, I think I broke the shade because its footsteps were that of a deal that's really close to you and a rev that has no line of sight with you and has not detected you. So I feel like that was a bug. There'll be a video on it. If it's up, I'll link it. If it's not, then just know it's Maple Lodge and it'll have something in the title where the monkey paw broke my shade or something like that. All right, so training, I don't do training anymore. I think it's fine. The whiteboard is a little much to handle because there's lots of text there. So let's see what they're going to do with it. Some parts of training aren't accurate to gameplay or are frustrating. Wait, what's not accurate about it? So we're making the following adjustments. I don't know what's not accurate about it. I've done the most recent training map and I had no issues with it. It felt like I was playing the game, although a really contained game, right? We'll replace the dot section with something more accurate to how ghosts act in game. Oh, wait. No, actually, I don't remember the dot section. Okay, maybe there's a problem with the dot section. I don't know. I don't remember it actually. Lower the overall temperature in the warehouse to make the freezing temps section less frustrating, as well as add cold breath to relevant areas. Now, yes, okay, so that is something I found annoying. When you basically have to go from room to room to room, and it takes long in order to see freezing temps, right? I think in training, I think having the thermometer update quicker than in normal maps, I think it'll be fine, right? Because it's just training. You're just showing people, look, thermometer can actually go down. This is how the thermometer goes down. And when it reaches 5C below that, then here's the ghost room, right? It's not a real contract. So you don't have to make things completely accurate. Because of mercury going down takes a while, right? It's kind of, I can see why it's frustrating because you're going through progression and you're going through pretty quick, but once you reach the thermometer area, the freezing temps area, things slow down drastically. So I guess increasing the update speed is, I guess, is valid in that specific case. The ghost orb section sometimes completes with the player knowing why, so we'll be increasing the time that you need to aim the camera at the orb before a door unlocks. Yeah, okay. I remember this one. Basically, if you hold the camera like in one place, eventually an orb will pass by. Maybe you don't even see the orb, but then all of a sudden, good job, you found the ghost orb, whatever, and there's the door unlocks. So yeah, I can see that. Okay. Overall, everything looks really good, especially the progression updates that are coming. Thermometer upgrades, please. I pray to you. Please don't make it bad. I really hope it doesn't. As well as the, what else actually? What did they talk about? I don't really, yeah, just the thermometer and the progression. Hopefully things work out really well and the thermometer isn't as bad as I think it's going to end up being. I could always be proven wrong. I could always be proven right. Thank you very much for watching this. This is the Phasmophobia News Adjusting the Ascension channel, Adjusting the Ascension update. So anyways, everyone, thank you very much for watching. I will try to make this a regular thing where I cover the updates because obviously I play the game. I do actually like reading the patch notes as well as updates and dev roadmaps. They're actually really fun and insightful of how the devs actually think they should proceed with developing their game, right? So it's really fun, really good. Thank you very much for watching. See you guys in the next one. Take care and goodbye.